Battle through the heavens. After the enormous body of the sky poison dragon scorpion beast smashed into the ground, the entire land trembled. It was as though an earthquake had occurred as numerous arm-thick cracks spread from the spot where it had landed. The body of the sky poison dragon scorpion beast formed an enormous pit in the ground. The intense pain that was transmitted from its eye caused it to emit a painful roar. Fresh blood flowed out of its shattered eye like a small stream. The punch from the earth demon puppet earlier had really caused it to suffer. Bastard, this king will tear all of you into 1,000 pieces. The sky poison dragon scorpion beast roared furiously at the sky. Its voice was filled with an incomparable amount of killing intent and fury. This very day was likely the only time he had ever become so miserable since he had taken the form of a human. The sky poison dragon scorpion beast widened its enormous mouth after it had let out that furious roar. Dense, blood-colored energy swiftly agglomerated. Within a short moment, it transformed into a blood-colored light pillar that was half a foot wide. The frightening energy contained within the light pillar caused the surrounding air to form waves of intense ripples. Qi. Its savage head was swung as the blood-colored light pillar cut through the air with a swoosh sound. It was just like reverse lightning as it rushed to the sky. Be careful. Tian Huizunjia revealed a sober expression when he saw the blood-colored light pillar. This sky poison dragon scorpion beast was about to go crazy. Anyone present would likely not have an easy time if they were to endure such a powerful attack. Xiao Yan had immediately sensed danger from the blood-colored light pillar. Before Tian Huizunjia issued his warning, he had activated the 3000 lightning movement. Numerous afterimages were left behind in the sky while his actual body strangely disappeared. Xiao Yan, I will trap it. You should command the earth demon puppet to strike its head. Tian Huizunjia ordered with a deep voice. His expression became a little grave after having dodged the sky poison dragon scorpion beast's fierce counterattack. Understood. Xiao Yan hurriedly nodded when he heard him. This sky poison dragon scorpion beast was indeed very troublesome to deal with. Two experts who had both reached the strength of an 8-star Dou zone were unable to do anything to it within a short while. Moreover, this was with Xiao Yan aiding them on the side. If Xiao Yan had not destroyed the poison cloud earlier, it was likely that the current situation would have ended up completely different. Tian Huizunjia's face was serious. A vast and mighty spiritual strength surged out of his body without holding back. While his hands moved, this spiritual strength transformed into a 1,000-foot-large invisible net. Go! Tian Huizunjia waved his sleeves. The enormous net, formed from the spiritual strength, immediately whizzed down. After which, it trapped the large body of the sky poison dragon scorpion beast. The large spiritual net had just made contact with the body of the sky poison dragon scorpion beast when wave after wave of sizzling sounds appeared. This kind of spiritual net could ignore the beast's powerful physical body and restrain its soul. Do it! Tian Huizunjia sternly cried. Xiao Yan nodded once. He curled his finger and the earth demon puppet, that had remained in air, rocketed down from the sky. After which, it viciously smashed into the body of the sky poison dragon scorpion beast like a cannonball. Its frightening forward momentum caused the beast's body to collapse. Roar! The frightening force that was transmitted from the puppet's body caused the sky poison dragon scorpion beast to emit a crazy and furious roar. Its enormous tail was swung, transforming into a black glint as it shot toward the earth demon puppet on its back. The fire wolf pounced down and caused a white fog to rise over the body of the sky poison dragon scorpion beast. Its terrifyingly high temperature caused the beast to feel wave after wave of intense searing pain. Bang! Under the dual suppression of the enormous spiritual net and the fire wolf, the sky poison dragon scorpion beast was unable to move for a moment despite its large size. It could only struggle, causing the ground to tremble. Crack lines swiftly spread all over it. Bang! A silver glow flashed and appeared on the head of the sky poison dragon scorpion beast. Its bright silvery fist struck out without mercy, firmly landing on the beast's head. The fighting strength of the earth demon puppet was largely determined by its physical body, which had undergone many refinements. Despite its physical body being unable to use any Dou Qi, its destructive strength was still terrifying. With this punch from it, even this sky poison dragon scorpion beast, which possessed the strength of an 8-star Dou Zong, ended up emitting a miserable wail. Its body struggled, and it started to go crazier. Waves of corrosive strength and dense blood fog swiftly flowed out of the body of the sky poison dragon scorpion beast as it was wildly struggling to escape. The spiritual net of Tian Huazunja began to emit a chi-chi sound when this strange blood fog formed. Bang! 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 Xiao Yan's expression sank when he saw this scene. The fist of the earth demon puppet was once again tightly clenched. After which, it threw one punch after another, acting like a pile driver as it mercilessly smashed into the same spot on the sky poison dragon scorpion beast's head. A chi-chi sound was emitted when the strange blood fog adhered onto the body of the earth demon puppet. The shriveled surface of the puppet's body formed some lines because of this corrosion. Xiao Yan's expression slightly changed when he sensed the transformation of the earth demon puppet. It was unexpected that the poison vapor in the sky poison dragon scorpion beast was this fierce. Even the tough physical body of the earth demon puppet was unable to withstand it. A ruthless expression flashed across Xiao Yan's eyes. He really did not believe that the sky poison dragon scorpion beast would be able to turn things around in the face of this lineup of theirs. An order was released from Xiao Yan's heart and a bright silver glow erupted from the body of the earth demon puppet, barely blocking the blood fog. His fist was like a great storm as it landed on the head of the sky poison dragon scorpion beast in a crazy manner. The low, deep sounds appeared as though it was beating a drum, causing one's heart to tighten as it did so. Along with this intense pain, the sky poison dragon scorpion beast was shocked to realize that a helpless feeling was slowly spreading out of its heart. Its life appeared to be swiftly leaving its body. At this moment, it finally began to feel afraid. If this continued, it was likely that he would have difficulty escaping this catastrophe. Stop! What exactly do you want? I am a member of the Scorpion Dragon tribe. They will not let you off if you kill me. The sky poison dragon scorpion beast's single eye turned red as it furiously roared. This time around, there was an additional fear in its roar. We want your monster core. Xiao Yan faintly smiled. He did not give the sky poison dragon scorpion beast even a moment to catch its breath. He clearly understood that if he made even the slightest mistake in the face of a magical beast as strong as the sky poison dragon scorpion beast, it was likely that everything would come to naught. They had spent such a great amount of effort to capture this fellow. If it were allowed to escape, Xiao Yan would really end up losing more than he would gain. Even with the tough body of the sky poison dragon scorpion beast, it was somewhat unable to endure any longer after forcefully receiving so many heavy blows from the earth demon puppet. An aura of death covered its heart. In the face of this kind of feeling of death, a viciousness surged into the remaining eye of the sky poison dragon scorpion beast that was staring at Xiao Yan. A moment later, it finally spoke in a dense voice, I, Mohi, shall use the bloodline of the Scorpion Dragon tribe to swear that you will have to flee for the rest of your life while being chased by my Scorpion Dragon tribe. The final blood-red eye of the sky poison dragon scorpion beast fell out of its face after its words were voiced. After which, it exploded. A tiny blood glow penetrated the air at a shocking speed before entering Xiao Yan's body in a lightning-like manner. The speed of this blood glow was extremely frightening. Even Xiao Yan could only blink his eyes. He did not possess any ability to dodge it. The Scorpion Dragon tribe will not let you off. You will not be able to escape, the Sky Poison Dragon Scorpion Beast viciously laughed. 2 blood streams flowed out of its enormous eyes, giving it an extremely frightening appearance. Xiao Yan's expression became gloomy. He moved his hand seal and the body of the Earth Demon puppet immediately unleashed an extremely bright silver glow. It gathered all of its strength before smashing its fist down. Following this punch, one could see space crack apart. A half-foot wide dark black hole formed. Bang! The frightening punch contained a shocking strength as it ruthlessly smashed the head of the Sky Poison Dragon Scorpion Beast. Under this frightening strength, its large head let out a boom sound as it transformed into a countless number of bloody pieces of flesh. The innumerable number of beasts lingering in the distance immediately ceased their uproar after the head of the Sky Poison Dragon Scorpion Beast exploded. A moment later, they scattered. Their fleeing speed was even faster than when they were charging here. The instant the head of the Sky Poison Dragon Scorpion Beast burst apart, the fat and skinny experts, who were fighting with the little fairy doctor, also sensed something. They turned their heads and looked at the enormous cold corpse, which was lying on the ground in the distance. Their expressions suddenly and drastically changed. The eyes of the 2 looked at the corpse of the Sky Poison Dragon Scorpion Beast. Disbelief filled their eyes. Being the beast's subordinates, they were clearly aware of its strength. Even though there were a countless number of vicious poison beings within this fallen god stream, the strength of the Sky Poison Dragon Scorpion Beast was ranked among the top. In the past, there were some human experts who had come to provoke it, but their fates were to become part of the yellow soil in this region. The fierce reputation of the Sky Poison Dragon Scorpion Beast was something that no one dared offend during these years. Unfortunately, the scene that had appeared today had caused the fierce reputation of the Sky Poison Dragon Scorpion Beast to completely disappear. The skinny, yellow-clothed man stared at the corpse of the Sky Poison Dragon Scorpion Beast with flickering eyes. After which, he looked at Xiao Yan's group again. His throat quivered. Other than Xiao Yan, the remaining 2 people gave him an extremely dangerous feeling. This kind of feeling was something that he had sensed on the Sky Poison Dragon Scorpion Beast in the past. Clearly, these 2 were existences that were on the same level as the Sky Poison Dragon Scorpion Beast. I wonder how Leader offended such an expert. They actually came hunting for him. The yellow-clothed man's eyes flickered as this thought swiftly lingered in his heart. You dared our kill leader. The Scorpion Dragon tribe will definitely not let you off. The fat expert, who looked like a small mountain, was dull for a moment before he finally recovered. He furiously roared, "Gone ho, attack, take revenge for the leader." The flicker in the eyes of the yellow-clothed man became more intense. He immediately clenched his teeth and said in a deep voice, "I will not accompany you if you wish to seek death." His toes pressed on the ground after those words sounded, and he withdrew in a lightning-like manner. Within a couple of breaths, he had transformed into a blurry figure that disappeared into the distance. The fat man was stunned when he saw the yellow-clothed man fleeing at the last moment. His face immediately flushed red as he furiously cursed, "You cowardly fellow! Are you going to leave by yourself or should I attack?" The little fairy doctor slowly walked over while he was cursing. Her pretty eyes stared at the fat man as she asked him a question with a smile. "The Scorpion Dragon tribe will not let you off." The expression of the fat man changed before he finally let out a furious cry. After which, he turned around and his small, mountain-like body rumbled as it transformed into a ray of light that fled into the distance. Although his body was large, he was not a fool. If he remained behind in such a situation, it was likely that he would not be able to escape death. This group of people could even kill the sky-poisoned dragon-scorpion beast, much less him. The little fairy doctor watched as the fat man fled into the distance. She let out a slight smile. Her body moved and appeared beside Xiao Yan. She lowered her head to look at the enormous body of the sky-poisoned dragon-scorpion beast on the ground, settled. Xiao Yan grinned and nodded. He immediately sighed in relief. This sky-poisoned dragon-scorpion beast was indeed extremely difficult to deal with. If he did not have the earth demon puppet and Tian Huizunjia, it would have been very difficult to kill this big fellow with his strength unless he used the angry Buddha lotus flame. Xiao Yan nodded in agreement. His hand grabbed toward the body of the sky-poisoned dragon-scorpion beast. A suction force surged out and slowly lifted it until it was suspended in the air. Xiao Yan glanced at the large corpse in front of him. His face appeared a little solemn. The seal formed by his hands changed and the enormous jade-green fire wolf burst apart, transforming into a fierce flame that swept over the body of the sky-poisoned dragon-scorpion beast. Its frighteningly high temperature spread, and a distortion appeared in the surrounding space. Amid the burning of the glazed lotus heart flame, the enormous corpse of the sky-poisoned dragon-scorpion beast swiftly shrank. Its skin, shell, and flesh slowly turned white under the high temperature. Finally, they transformed into ashes and scattered down. Xiao Yan's expression did not change as watched the corpse that was swiftly shrinking while ashes scattered. Instead, he increased the temperature. What he needed was the essence blood of the sky-poisoned dragon-scorpion beast. This kind of essence blood would only appear after undergoing refinement and lots of burning. Under this high temperature, the fresh blood on the surface of the sky-poisoned dragon-scorpion beast was swiftly vaporized. The blood vessels at those injuries also turned pale white. The body of the sky-poisoned dragon-scorpion beast diminished as the glazed lotus heart flame's temperature continued to rise. In the end, it was only 5 feet in size. At this moment, the sky-poisoned dragon-scorpion beast had turned into a blood-colored ball of meat, rotating within the jade-green flame. Xiao Yan controlled the flame's temperature. A moment later, he flicked his finger and the blood-colored ball of meat immediately cracked, forming fissures in its body. Half a fist-large blood-colored crystal rushed out and headed toward Xiao Yan. Xiao Yan's hand slowly rubbed the crystal core in a gentle manner before he carefully stored it in his storage ring. He raised his eyes, and they paused on the blood-colored flesh in the flame. There was still the powerful essence blood of the sky-poisoned dragon-scorpion beast within. After gently clenching his hand, the jade-green flame that lingered outside of the blood-colored ball of meat began to rapidly spin. A terrifying tearing force, ungoverned by any rules, swiftly formed within it. After which, it ruthlessly squeezed the ball of blood-colored meat. The blood-colored ball of meat trembled intensely as the flame wildly spun. It repeatedly rotated left and right. In the face of such a rotation, droplets of somewhat purplish-colored blood were slowly revealed from within the meat. A pleased look appeared on the corner of Xiao Yan's mouth when he saw this scene. He maintained this kind of tearing force and gradually squeezed out the pure essence blood within that cluster of meat. With an increasing amount of essence blood dripping down, the blood-red ball of meat gradually turned a pale white color. This kind of pale whiteness was a kind of lifeless color. The essence blood was the source of a magical beast's life. Once the essence blood was drained, it indicated that its life had also vanished. The pale white color gradually spread from the high-speed rotation of the flame. Around 10 minutes later, the last trace of blood coloring finally faded quietly from the ball of meat. The moment the last thread of blood color gradually disappeared, the ball of meat violently trembled and collapsed, transforming into pale white ashes that scattered down. "Store it quickly," This kind of essence blood possesses a potent allure to other magical beasts. The little fairy doctor hurriedly reminded while sighing in relief after seeing the essence blood successfully refined by Xiao Yan. Xiao Yan smiled and nodded. He beckoned with his finger and the purple-red liquid blood flew out. After which, he took out a jade bottle and carefully stored the blood into it. "Old Mr. Yao, this is the essence blood required to help refine your body. You will once again be able to use a physical body soon." Xiao Yan waved the jade bottle in his hand toward Tian Huazunjia by the side as he spoke with a smile. A hearty smile involuntarily surfaced on Tian Huazunjia's face when he heard this. He nodded in relief. It had been so many years. He was finally going to possess a body again. At the same time, he would once again sense the comfort of having Dou Qi flow within his body. "Little fellow, the old me is really right about you. This favor, the old me will not forget it for the rest of my life." Tian Huazunjia's illusionary hand patted Xiao Yan's shoulders. Even with his calmness, he still felt somewhat excited in his heart. Back then, he had placed his hopes in Xiao Yan in his desperate state because he had no other choice. However, he was quite pleased with the final result. Xiao Yan slightly smiled as he sincerely said, "Old Mr. Yao has been a great help to me. If I do not put in all my effort, would I not be considered an inhumane and unjust person?" Tian Huazunjia fondled his beard and let out a heartfelt sigh. "I really envy your teacher for having such an outstanding disciple. Let's go. We should leave this place first. The commotion we caused was too great. It is likely that someone will come and investigate. It is best that we leave first." The little fairy doctor softly suggested. "All right." Xiao Yan smiled and nodded. He rubbed his storage ring and laughed. "Since we have obtained everything, we will proceed to the most important step next." Xiao Yan waved his hand after speaking. He took the lead and turned around. After which, he hurriedly rushed to the north. The little fairy doctor brought Xian along and followed close behind him. This region once again fell silent after Xiao Yan's group left. Only the enormous pit in the ground represented the soul-stirring fight that had erupted at this spot earlier. A dense poison fog lingered in the air of a small valley in the northern region of the fallen god stream. This fog made it difficult for one to clearly see the interior of the valley. If one looked from a closer spot, one would coincidentally see a couple of figures standing in it. They were Xiao Yan's group, which had just obtained the monster core and the essence blood of the sky-poison dragon scorpion beast. Based on what Xian has said, the Ice River Valley's experts should have already entered the fallen god stream. Perhaps, they will find us quite soon. A bonfire was burning within the valley, emitting some light from the flame as Xiao Yan voiced his thoughts. Yes. Moreover, there is an existence at the peak of the Dou Zone class among those who arrived this time around. Xian nodded. Her face was grave. The peak of the Dou Zone class, a strength was even greater than that of the sky-poison dragon scorpion beast. Although Xiao Yan currently had 2 8-star Dou Zone beings around him, it was likely very hard for them to obtain the upper hand in such a fight. After all, the peak of the Dou Zone class was the strongest among the experts below the Dou Zun class. The little fairy doctor and Tian Huazunjia by the side also nodded. They had a good understanding of this level. Even with Tian Huazunjia's pride, he had no choice but to admit that it was extremely difficult for him to fight an expert at the peak of the Dou Zone class in his current condition. Hence, we must settle the body of old Mr. Yao or the woeful poison body of the little fairy doctor before they find us. Otherwise, it is likely that the situation will not be favorable. Xiao Yan spoke with a serious tone. The little fairy doctor and Tian Huazunjia nodded when they heard this. In this current situation, the strength of either of them would soar if they could settle their respective problems. Thus, they would have the ability to fight even when faced with an expert at the peak of the Dou Zone class from the Ice River Valley. You should help old Mr. Yao refine a body first. He was an elite Dou Zun in the past. Even though he might not be able to quickly recover his peak strength after he obtains a body, it should not be difficult for him to advance to the Dou Zun class. This woeful poison body of mine has never been completely controlled by anyone in the past. We are not certain what will happen after it is controlled. Therefore, I suggest that old Mr. Yao should have the priority. The little fairy doctor mused for a moment before she gave a serious suggestion. Xiao Yan revealed an expression of deep thought after hearing the little fairy doctor's analysis. Helping Tian Huazunjia first was indeed the safest bet. The woeful poison body is a unique natural body. When it erupts, even an elite Dou Zun must temporarily hide from it. If you are able to control it, it is likely that your achievements will be extremely shocking. Tian Huazunjia fondled his beard as he slowly spoke. Old Mr. Yao has praised me too much. The little fairy doctor curled her lips and smiled. The little fairy doctor is right. I will help old Mr. Yao refine a body first in order to resolve the current threat. Xiao Yan nodded and finally made his decision. He continued in a deep voice, in that case, I will first resolve old Mr. Yao's problem. I will now begin refining the Yin-Yang Life Soul Pill. All of you must guard me during this period of time and should avoid leaving this place so you don't attract any trouble. Xiao Yan ceased hesitating after making up his mind. He immediately began preparing after saying he would do it. His body moved and appeared on an enormous rock in the valley. With a wave of his hand, the 10,000 beast cauldron appeared and remained steadily suspended in the air. The little fairy doctor and the others nodded when they saw Xiao Yan begin to refine the pill. After which, they slowly withdrew and guarded him. Xiao Yan waved his hand and a jade-green flame appeared. After which, it was randomly thrown into the medicinal cauldron by Xiao Yan. He rubbed his storage ring with his hand and numerous medicinal ingredients continuously flew out of it. Finally, all of them remained suspended in the air as well. Xiao Yan's eyes were opened a moment later. He gently inhaled a breath of air and moved his finger. An extremely bright and beautiful flower rushed down. However, strangely there was a person's face at the center of the flower. Its eyes, nose and mouth were all lifelike. Looking at it gave one the creeps. Ghostface flower, the name of this flower flashed across Xiao Yan's heart. This was one of the key ingredients in refining the Yin-Yang Life Soul Pill. It was extremely rare. Xiao Yan did not know just where Xian Lan had obtained it from. However, it seemed that she had put in a lot of effort to gather the ingredients. Xiao Yan glanced at this flower that gave one the creeps. He flicked his finger and the ghostface flower was thrown into the medicinal cauldron. The jade-green flame swept over and wrapped around it. Ah! The ghostface flower had just been tossed into the flame when waves of black vapor were emitted from it. At the same time, a screeching baby cry was reverberated from the medicinal cauldron. Xiao Yan knit his brows. He did not expect this ghostface flower to be this strange. However, regardless of how strange it was powerless to resist a heavenly flame. A thought passed through Xiao Yan's mind and Dou Qi covered both of his ears, isolating the baby's cry as it did so. He clenched his hand and the flame's temperature suddenly soared. Xiao Yan did not immediately withdraw the flame after the powder appeared. Instead, he grilled this pile of powder for some time until it revealed a cold luster. Only then did a thought pass through his mind. The cluster of flames wrapped around the dark black powder and left it suspended in one corner of the medicinal cauldron. Xiao Yan took a fist-sized red-colored fruit after having completed refining this ghostface flower. Wave after wave of dense, cold air poured out of the fruit. Soul Revival Demon Fruit. This strange fruit is really beneficial to the training of spiritual strength. It is likely that I need to prepare a little more of it in the future for any unexpected situations. Xiao Yan's eyes swept over that red-colored fruit. He flicked his finger and threw it into the medicinal cauldron. The little fairy doctor and the others stayed 100 meters away while Xiao Yan was refining the pill. No one emitted the slightest sound, afraid they would disturb his pill refinement. Moreover, all the poison beasts within 1,000-meter radius of the small valley were expelled or killed by the little fairy doctor and Tian Huazunjia through all sorts of means. They performed their roles as protectors quite well. Time swiftly flowed by while Xiao Yan undertook a retreat to refine this pill. 2 days passed in the blink of an eye. The area to the south of the fallen god stream, where the sky poison dragon scorpion beast resided back then, was completely quiet due to the sky poison dragon scorpion beast having been finished off by Xiao Yan's group. At this moment, it was completely quiet. It was no longer covered in a poison vapor like it had been back then. The enormous rock fortress appeared exceptionally empty. It no longer possessed the domineering aura that existed when the sky poison dragon scorpion beast was residing in it. Waves of rushing wind sounds appeared 1,000 meters from the rock fortress. A moment later, many white figures appeared on the flat land outside of the rock fortress. Dou Qi, the energy ripple that we sensed 2 days ago should have originated from this place. An elder's gaze swept around the rock fortress before he respectfully spoke to that old man at the side, who was holding a snake walking stick. There is no longer any aura in this place. The old man who was addressed as Dou Qi paused his eyes on the rock fortress as he faintly commented. From what I know, this should be the Sky Scorpion region. It is managed by a sky poison dragon scorpion beast that has reached the strength of an 8-star Dozong. However, from the looks of it now, another old man frowned and revealed what he knew. Sky poison dragon scorpion beast. Dou Qi narrowed his eyes and slowly said. This place has the remnant aura of a corpse. If I have guessed correctly, that fellow should have been finished off. What? That fellow possessed the strength of an 8-star Dozong. Even in this fallen god stream, it is one of the few such existences. Who is able to kill it? The remaining people exclaimed after hearing this. Other than the corpse aura, there are traces on the ground that show that it has been grilled at high temperature. Clearly, it is someone who possesses a great control of fire. From the remnant souls of the Ice River Valley's disciples back then, I discovered that there is a young man among them who controls a kind of extremely powerful flame. If I have guessed correctly, this should have been done by that group. Dou Qi grabbed some grass and gently pinched the blades. The grass turned into dust when he did so. Done by that group. They are this strong. The expressions of the remaining 3 white-clothed elders changed. That was an 8-star Dozong. They were able to easily kill Bing Fu and the 2 others. What is there to be surprised about them being able to fight with an 8-star Dozong? Dou Qi faintly smiled. He slowly stood up and turned his eyes to the north of the fallen god stream. His shriveled face revealed a strange smile. However, the air still possesses the remnant aura of the sky poison dragon scorpion beast. It is likely they took its monster core. We should be able to find them if we follow this aura. Dou Qi is wise. The 3 white-clothed, old men rejoiced and respectfully praised him when they heard his words. Dou Qi randomly waved his hand. He gripped the snake walking stick and slowly walked to the north of the fallen god stream. A faint laugh was slowly being emitted from him. The old me is really becoming curious about this group of people. Not only have they housed the poison lady but they have also come here to kill this sky poison dragon scorpion beast for no reason. Haha, not bad. The 3 old men behind faced each other. They immediately let out cold laughs. They really did not know whether it was those fellows' misfortune or honor that stirred the interest of old Qi. Those who offend the Ice River Valley will not come to a good end. What pitiful individuals!